So welcome to Northern Powerhouses, our business success stories series of interviews where we discuss with local business leaders their successes, their challenges, and what's really driving them forward. So this afternoon, I'm delighted to have with us James Murphy, who's the director at HLH Rapid Limited. So firstly, James, thanks for spending a bit of time with us. And if you'd like to introduce yourself and the business to the audience, that'll be wonderful.
Yeah, thank you for having me on the podcast. Honoured, I am. My name's James Murphy. The company is called HLH Rapid, and what we do is we enable designers, engineers, innovators, people who are creating new products to manufacture them quickly and inexpensively. So we offer a massive range of services, CNC machining, 3D printing, injection molding, things like that enable people to develop and build new products as quickly as possible.
Absolutely fantastic. So you're helping the sort of the inventors, the creative people come up with the sort of the initial idea, the prototype.
Yeah, we're not really helping them with the idea. So that's their department.
Yeah.
But we are, like you say, helping them with the prototype and with like the lower volume manufacturing.
Yeah.
So they're ramping things up.
Brilliant. Yeah. That must be a great help to many people, because I've worked with quite a few people with coming with ideas, but getting that first physical deliverable is quite a hard thing. I find people find or have found historically.
Yeah, well, for me it's quite easy. But yes, a lot of people do struggle with actually kind of bringing physical product to life. We don't know how best to go about doing that. We don't know the materials to choose, the processes, etc. So we can help them out with those questions.
Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. So it's great. So it must be great to be part. I mean, I talk a lot about manufacturing in the UK and the growth of manufacturing in the UK, and you must be quite a key part of helping people start that process again.
We're trying to be, yeah, definitely. So the UK, unfortunately, we have kind of lost quite a lot of our manufacturing.
Yeah.
I mean, we still do some, and what we do is very good, very high quality. But yeah, we've lost quite a lot of that. But what we're very good at is still kind of designing and engineering products. So you'll find that with things like even in the automotive industry, for example, where maybe the UK, other than like Jaguar Land Rover, we don't have any kind of big automotive manufacturers anymore. But still, things like Formula One and a lot of the engineering and design, that's still done here in this country. So it's like a similar kind of thing. We just help the creative engineers to manufacture the physical products.
Absolutely fantastic. And so maybe, James, if you could tell us a little bit about your background, how you got into business and why this particular one.
Yeah, so I never planned to go into business. I imagine most people who look in businesses don't. So when I was 26, I moved to China, just because I had nothing better to do, essentially. And as I was out there, I realized very, very, very quickly that I didn't want to kind of teach English because I didn't enjoy that at all. And I joined a company that was doing something similar to what we're doing now. And that's where it started, essentially. And that was like 2008. So I've been doing this ever since. Kind of fell into it, but as soon as I started in this industry, it just kind of fit with me as a person and what I enjoy doing and what I like. So it worked out quite well.
Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. So obviously, from what you said, when you're growing up, you probably didn't foresee yourself doing this. What were your plans at that time?
I mean, like many young people, I think I was quite. Unfortunately, I think in this country, like one of the things that we're really lacking is it's like good kind of technical education and also like career guidance. A lot of people, they don't know what to do, or like their only option is like go out, get a job,
Yeah.
but they don't know what job, or go to university, and then they don't really know what to do at university,
Yep.
what's going to lead them into a career, what's going to
Yep.
help them kind of make money and have the life that they want.
Yep.
Yes, I mean, I was in a very similar situation. I went to university. I did, for all intents and purposes, a useless degree. I mean, obviously, you get life skills, transferable skills, and things like that. So I've never, if I could relive my life, I'd probably still go do the same thing because I had a lot of fun. But I mean, in terms of like the usefulness of it, it wasn't very useful. I did a film studies degree,
Okay.
which I loved, and if I could have got into the film industry, that would have been amazing. But obviously, that didn't work out for me.
Brilliant. So, looking back over the growth of your company and your business, so what are some of the biggest issues you've had to overcome?
Because we are quite heavily linked with manufacturing overseas as well, there's been a lot of kind of pushback about that. So there's been issues around people maybe not trusting or not wanting to work with kind of overseas suppliers.
Right.
Then obviously ever since we started the business, like we started it in 2008, so that was like economic meltdown number one, and then since then we've had like a couple more.
Yes.
So yeah, it's been a up and down journey, I guess.
Yep.
But
Good. I can imagine. How have you overcome that? I understand that point about the overseas link and stuff. How have you overcome those sort of negatively held beliefs?
I mean, the only way I see to kind of overcome any obstacle really is just to believe, first of all, that you can believe that it's worth doing. And just keep working at it. Just keep chipping away at it. Just
Brilliant.
Small steps.
Yep.
In the direction of travel, essentially.
Yep. So I guess it's by demonstrating that, demonstrating the opposite, that you can break down those fears.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, trust it's quite easily given, I think, in this country. Like we do tend to trust people, which is a fantastic way of living your life, isn't it? But it's very easily lost as well.
Yes.
So once it's been given, you have to kind of consistently live up to that, like every day, in how you conduct yourself and your business.
Yeah.
So just be honest, tell the truth, and try your best.
Brilliant. Now that makes a lot of sense. And as you've grown and developed, what do you say some of the biggest things you've learned about business in general?
It's a lot easier than people think. I think another thing, maybe in other countries they do quite well, like America certainly, they have a very kind of entrepreneurial mindset as a country, and business is taught in school, and people are encouraged to go out there and to try and fail and try again. In this country, we're quite conservative, I think, in that regard, and nobody really is encouraged to go out there and be an entrepreneur. I mean, obviously there are lots of them, but it's not something that's kind of actively encouraged, I don't think. So, I mean, first of all, I would say like it's not as difficult as you would imagine.
Right.
I mean, if you feel as though you've got a good idea, you've identified a potential market for it, just go for it. Like, start small.
Brilliant.
Obviously, I mean, if you don't have a lot of money to invest in it, start with what you can do. Yep.
Brilliant. We can't tell too many people it's too easy, because everyone will be doing it then.
No, that'd be good for the economy. Yeah.
Oh no, it'd be great.
It'd be good news for me as well, because like the more people going out there, starting businesses, creating new products, like they all need prototypes and they all need manufacturing. So
absolutely.
Come see me afterwards.
But I totally concur with the idea. I think in this country, different to others, where we've probably got a much higher fear of failure, so we don't start. If that makes sense,
we don't start, and I think also it's quite an expensive country.
Yeah.
Like
yes.
I mean, some other places there's less regulation maybe.
Yeah.
It's a bit easier to get started in the first place.
Yeah.
But I mean, these are all excuses. Like, we live here. Do you know what I mean? You just have to live with those facts and just get on with it.
Yep.
About that.
Totally agree. And you're probably we're a business coaching organisation, so we coach is the primary form of supporting businesses. And I'm keen to know who the best coaches you've ever had, whether that's business, sport, life in general.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, one of the best coaches I've ever had is my wife.
Brilliant.
So yeah, she's got a very sharp mind, and she keeps me humble. Like, she makes sure I'm not getting kind of above myself and things like
Brilliant.
that. And I think that's important. It's important to just keep yourself kind of on the ground. So yeah, she helps me out quite a lot.
Brilliant. And have you picked up any? I love collecting quotes or sayings that people find that they find useful in business. Are there any that you find yourself using a lot?
Quotes. I mean, I'm quite into stoicism. So there's like one thing that Marcus Aurelius talks about is like the obstacle being the way. Like, what stands in the way becomes the way. So it's like things are going to come up in life. Things are going to get in your way. Instead of just kind of giving up and like, oh no, what am I going to do now? Like, reframe how you see that and try and use it as an opportunity.
Yeah, brilliant.
So yeah, that one. And then another one that I do like as well is because like I'm quite curious by nature. I like to go and like look at this and look at that. And but then there's a quote from Churchill. I think it's something like a man will never arrive at his destination if he stops to throw stones at every dog that barks.
Yes.
Like, so that I use that quite a lot to remind myself, like, stop. It might be interesting, but it's not. It's like, focus.
It's very interesting. It's very easy if you are curious, as you said, you are, to be curious, and therefore, but it's knowing when to. I totally get that. And coming back to something you said a little bit earlier was I love the Henry Ford quote: "Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right."
I mean that's
and you said exactly, it's just something very similar earlier. And funny enough, I think you said the Marcus Aurelius quote about the obstacle is the way. I often, when I work with businesses and there's a challenge in play, whether that's economical or market, I most often say, well, look, it's quite likely that all your competitors have the same challenge. Exactly. And therefore, your ability to solve that challenge could be a massive step forward for your business compared to your competition.
Exactly. So there are opportunities.
Yeah, I was told. Now you might know this better than me, and I don't really want to know if it's not true, James. Okay. But I was told one of the Chinese dialects, there's a symbol, I think, for challenge with two parts. One is problem and one is opportunity. And I just love being told that. I don't. I don't want to know if it's not true because it
is true.
Brilliant. Oh, thank you. Well, that's good. And I love that idea that it's that double-edged, double-edged sword, isn't it?
Exactly.
So, and I mean, it's quite an interesting career you've had already, and I'm keen to know what you've learned about yourself as you've grown and as you've developed yourself in the business.
I mean, just trying to be honest with yourself is crucial because if you understand who you are and your values and what you care about, then that's just going to save you so much time and stress in life. Yeah. So just trying to understand yourself, who you are, and what matters to you is one of the most important things. Brilliant.
I think that sort of a whole authenticity and I don't know if this makes any sense, but often I like to give myself a break every now and again because we're all human, and while we may be good at some things, we may not be good at others, and it's rather than beat ourselves up on the things we're not, it's, it's a package, isn't it? We're a whole package.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
So, I mean, it must be a fascinating and exciting time for you guys at the moment. So, I'm keen to know what the future looks like for you guys and what challenges you might face, if any.
Well, I mean, it is exciting. It's always exciting. Obviously, at the minute, we are going through a bit of a tough time, kind of cost of living and kind of budgets, both at home and at work are being curtailed a little. So we're on a little bit of a kind of a downturn at the minute. But I think there's a lot of potential to come. So hopefully, we will continue to grow. We're doing okay. We keep hiring new people. They seem to be happy. So yeah, we're just hoping to carry on doing more of the same, like grow as a company, and hopefully do a little bit more manufacturing here in the UK as well.
Wonderful. Well, obviously, wish you best of luck with that, and hopefully, maybe we can swing by another 6-12 months and just see how things have developed. And just wanted to sort of a couple of questions that I'm keen to get your feeling from. Is one, what would you say to anyone that was thinking of going into business right now, James?
Again, as I said before, like it's not as difficult as maybe other people have told you. I'm sure people have tried to dissuade you, or this is a terrible time, like company, etc., etc. But I think like some of, if you actually look at it, I think I can't remember off the top of my head, but there are very specific examples of businesses that were formed in kind of economic downtimes, like KFC, I think was one. There's a couple of very famous examples that went on to be massive. So I don't let like external factors stop you from doing it if you feel there is like a definite kind of business case for what you want to do.
Brilliant. No, it makes a lot of sense. And if you started again, is there anything significant that you might do differently?
I think for me it'd be coming back to like what I said with the Churchill quote. So over the years, I have tended to go off on quite a lot of tangents and wasted a lot of time. Like I mean, I've learned things as well, and it's been. I can't say that it's been completely irrelevant or not useful at all, but I think I would try and like stay a little bit more.
Yes.
I'll definitely try that.
I learned an acronym a long time ago, which I thought was quite good for, and it was for focus, and the acronym went fixed, on course, until successful. And I quite like that idea. That I think it has to come with an element of, but we're measuring the outcome. We are checking this is the right call.
Because you have to be open to other opportunities.
Yes.
Because like there might be something somewhere that you could do that is even more better, profitable, that you could be more successful at. And if you're not open to those ideas, then obviously it's just going to pass you by. But at the same time, you need to stay on course.
It's something I often have a challenge with myself. So it's held me in good stead, that one. And what advice would you give to an 18-year-old you if you could go back in time and do so, James?
Start now.
Brilliant.
I think.
Brilliant.
Because at 18, I was still kind of lost. So, just be something along the lines of do it now.
Brilliant. Love it. Absolutely love it. Well, it's been great to spend some time with you. Before we go, and when we do, I'd like to get a bit more. Just make sure we got the contact details for you. But I know one thing we talked about before we started was you have a podcast that you're running at the moment. And would you like to tell us a little bit more about that? I'd be keen to know.
Yes, so we have a podcast which is for product designers, for engineers. It's called Prototype and See. It's available on kind of most of the podcast where you get your podcast from.
Yeah.
And that's all about like the product development journey. So it's sitting down with a lot of innovative companies, individuals, engineers, business leaders, and talking to them about how they bring new products to life. So
Wow.
a lot of very interesting, useful content in there for people who are thinking about starting developing products, essentially.
Brilliant. Oh, wow. Well, that will be great. Well, look, as we close, perhaps the last question would be, for anyone watching, what's the best way to contact you, the company, or in fact, about the podcast yourself, about the podcast?
I mean, all the information and contact details, etc., is on the website. So that would just be www.HLHRapid.com.
Brilliant. And does that include the podcast?
Yeah, it's all on there. Yeah, everything's on there.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Well, James, thank you so much for spending a bit of time with us. It was great
Thank you for asking me to come on. Yeah,
it's been really great, and I wish you well for the future. And it'd be great to maybe swing by in 6-12 months and just see how things are developing moving forward.
Very welcome. Yeah.
Brilliant. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Bye bye.